Welcome to episode number 95 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast.
Will the real David Holcomb please stand up?
Can he stand up? There he is.
I pooped my pants.
I pooped my pants.
I look over because I can see the screen. I look over and we started this, and Dad's over there picking his nose.
David was picking his nose.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Bunch of nose pickers.
We got booger pickers and crayon eaters.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can see right there.
Cherry flavored
right there.
crayons.
My name's James. I eat crayons.
I eat crayons.
He eats crayons. That's
I
James.
aspire to be like Nolan.
I'm
Who?
sitting in Nolan's
Nolan.
chair.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got to act like Nolan.
Oh, great.
Sit up straight. Nolan's a good posture guy.
Yeah, he puts his belly up here on top of the table.
I can't go that far. Ooh, I have my limit.
Shot fired.
See what happens when you're not here? It just
Cross the
don't-
bow.
It just don't matter.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, for real. Would you do me a favor and turn that air down a little bit? Sure. I'm hot.
It's hot in here.
It's muggy as all get out this morning.
Yeah.
Anybody else go take a walk this morning?
Yeah, it's muggy.
I didn't take a walk either.
It's supposed to hit the high 90s this
It's
week.
it's
you know.
moist.
Yeah, it's just
It's still pool season. Thank the
for
Lord.
real. Well, episode 95, fellas, which means one of our favorite players ever. Still is
Yes.
one of our favorite guys. Was really good to us, and we had several years with one Mr. Elijah Fisher, number 95, Elijah. Playing center now,
He was so much fun.
you know, because he,
Well, he's probably bulked up, hasn't he?
well, he had to play that, but he,
Well, I'm
you
here.
know, he was a tight end. He was a quarterback, wasn't he? At one
Yeah,
point?
yeah. Middle school's
Middle
quarterback, tight end, defensive line, holder,
Yeah.
or kicks.
And then he went over to Louisiana. He's playing center now. So
Catcher of touchdown
he
passes.
does it all.
Man.
So Fish, shout out to you. And
Who's
hope
got
you're
two
doing well.
thumbs?
This Rolaids minute is for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Brr.
well, episode 95, we're closing in on 100, folks, which is hard to believe, but
Yep.
I guess we have to do something special, don't we?
well, we're trying.
We'll have some party hats.
Ooh.
That's not
Party
a bad
favors.
idea. Man, it's just muggy in here. I'm sorry, folks. I'm hot. I'm distracted. So, we had the first district game last night.
We did. At 0-3, McKinney Boyd was coming in 0-3.
Yep.
And so I don't think anybody expected a super competitive game, but they scored more than I thought they would. We were doing score guesses at the beginning.
We
I
gave
guess
them
the
more
52.
than we should have gave them.
Oh, well, yeah. Big plays. What did you say? You were going to talk about big plays and yardage?
And it seems we that's a topic we talk about every week now.
Yeah.
Is big plays and
If it weren't for the big plays, they only got this many yards.
yeah, it's a common theme so far with this team, and we'll chalk it up to something. I don't know what. But,
Yeah. Well, that's hard, and a bunch of the big plays have been because the other team is scrambling, whether it's the quarterback scrambling or whatever. The corners are kind of stepping up, scooting up, and having to decide: do I continue covering my man, or do I come in and cover the run and make sure he doesn't get a big long gain and receiver gets behind him? So
or the quarterback scrambles, and we'll get
Yeah.
into the details on that.
Hey, one thing, this fourth game in a row, we've lost the flip.
You know what's up with that?
I think it's okay. Doesn't
No,
Coach Wig?
it's cool. It's
well,
just
yeah, but Coach Wig likes to have the ball first. I think that's what I heard. Maybe we'll ask him.
You know what? That's a great question.
You
for
want
him.
the ball first, or no?
When we get to him here in a minute. That's a very good question to ask.
I know you'll take whatever.
His
Why not just
happens,
walk up and say,
but-
"Hey, we'll take the ball first."
philosophy on the corner? Yeah. don't
Forget
do
the flip. We'll take the ball
we'll just
first.
Take the ball.
Yeah,
That might
yeah,
be
we
what
don't need
happens.
to flip.
That's a very good question because a lot of people, unlike us, probably don't pay attention to that, but we've
Yeah.
tracked that for years.
Well, and we used to get we won the toss, game over.
Game over. Might as well go
Defer. Always go to the second half.
But that's not the case anymore.
No.
I don't know. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Well, what a beautiful night for football last night.
It was.
It was a little warm during the day. Big win, though.
Breezy.
So
Yeah.
tailgate was, it actually wasn't, especially when you get under a canopy and a tent, it felt fine. We stood out in the sun a little bit to do the walkthrough with the kids, which we'll
Oh,
talk about.
no, you went over there to disco dance with all the music going on, didn't you?
Disco dance.
If only it was disco.
If only it was disco. That might have been
Yeah.
right up my alley from the
Little
70s.
You had
Hippity
your
hop.
long chains and your
Hippity hop.
If they'd have started playing the Bee Gees, brother, it'd have been on. It'd have been on.
David could have just opened up the back of his closet and been in fashion.
That's pretty
Glad to
close.
see you're awake there, Thad.
His polyester suit,
That's
his
it.
white shoes,
Leisure suit.
Leisure suit.
leisure
Platform shoes.
Oh my
suit,
gosh.
white zipper
Dude, I'm
boots.
I'm thinking Boo Bowl. What do you think?
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
So
We'll be
we-
skinny enough to be able to find some
we need
leisure
to
suits.
make a run to
Yeah, but everything
the
David-
Goodwill.
Everything David's got in his closet's too short for me. I'll be high watering. And that's nothing
water?
you want to have to.
You know-
People make fun of you when you high water. They say you ain't paying your water bill.
He is acting like Nolan this morning. All over you, David.
Mr. High Pockets. Of course, when he starts nodding off and starts falling asleep, we're going to have to decorate him.
I'm operating on sleep depravity.
Well, you know, Alan fell asleep last week during the podcast.
Yeah.
Did-
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh,
He's sitting
yeah,
right over
yeah.
there. Were you sitting here last
Yeah.
week? I said,
No, I sit here.
whoever's sitting here, I was like, Alan's over there. Sorry.
Yes.
This stuff
That
takes.
was you. Sitting
Oh,
over
yeah.
there.
No,
Yeah,
he
you were
wasn't here
sitting-
last week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
No, you know, it was just the four of us. So I
Right.
was talking to you.
James
and
and
like,
I, yeah.
look. But anyhow,
It was a
this
small
this
crowd.
season's taken so much out of us. I mean, it's a roller coaster ride.
It's a work in progress.
But that'll be the coach speak for it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. It's you never know what to expect. But I want to back up first because let's talk tailgate a little bit before we get in there. Thad did a great job yesterday.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you for the pulled pork and
Pulled pork
and
was
veggies.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and we had several people stop by and eat with us, and you know, I had to laugh at some point during that because Thad's over there cooking zucchini and yellow squash and mushrooms at a BEBC tailgate. And I'm like, what the heck, man?
That's not meat.
That was awesome. This is
well.
like, where's our,
Where's the tofu?
case suit? Well, we hadn't got that far yet.
Yeah,
Nah,
we generally high cholesterol,
high calorie.
high calorie, high carb.
I'm not cooking turkey chili. That ain't gonna happen.
No, some things you just don't mess with. You don't mess with hokum guacamole. You don't mess with hokum chili, and you don't mess with hokum potato salad either. So that's why those were preventative maintenance calories.
Yeah.
I mean, for when we load up when Dave cooks.
And you also don't mess with Holcomb Jackie.
Oh no.
That would be bad news.
What's the date on that again?
The Prosper game.
Prosper game.
The 28th, October 28th.
So for any of you, because David always makes more than enough,
Oh yeah.
want a really, really, really good bowl of chili, October 28th against Prosper is chili night. We've already designated it, so it'll be ready to go.
Come one, come all.
That's right.
Yep.
We'll load you up with chili, and it's
But y'all just leave enough so I can take home my care package.
Bring your own Tupperware.
That's right.
man, that stuff's so good. So thank you, Thad, for providing the food yesterday.
You're welcome.
You know, our tailgate continues to grow. We had a couple people stop by yesterday. David knows. David met a listener family.
Tom and Sharon, yeah, they've been Eagle fans for a long time and listened to us for, actually Sharon made it a point to let us know
Yeah.
that she's listened to us for a long time, and she slapped her husband and says, I just got him started on it, you know.
And
And
apparently it was a little long for him, but that's okay.
yeah, that's
You
right.
know,
Hang in there.
Like I told him, I said, you don't have to listen to it all at once. You can break it up. It ain't going nowhere. It's
Yeah.
stuck on YouTube.
Yeah. The good thing that we learned is he's a retired dentist,
Yep.
and they're going to Honduras, I believe, this next week. They're going to miss this next game because he goes down there and provides his services to the Honduran people and
That's
stuff.
awesome.
And it is. It's
Yeah.
really awesome. What a way to serve.
Way to go, Tom.
Giving back.
That was
Yeah,
great.
Thank you.
But they were really cool.
Yeah.
And in fact, Sharon said that they've been fans so long that when they went to the football games, all the fans would drive their cars up to the field and just park it and watch the game from there.
Yeah.
Tell me,
Crazy.
wow.
Tell me how long ago that was.
Yeah.
I think she said 70s.
Model
but-
T Fords and
Yeah.
stuff.
So last night when they asked anybody that was season ticket over 15 years,
Yeah.
they could have stood up if they said 50.
Yeah.
Well, they stood up 3 or 4 times.
Yep. That's pretty cool. They stopped by, and then the Fosters stopped by,
Yeah.
ate with us, and the Fosters sat behind us last year,
Year before.
year before.
Or before that, yeah,
They
a
had
couple years
tickets at some point and sat behind us, and they came back and we started talking to them, rekindled that, and that was cool.
John Bell stopped by
John
at
Bell
the end
did.
after most everybody
Him and
left.
his son
but-
Tim.
Yeah. John, you were running a little bit late yesterday, buddy. I'm sorry I had to run out, but the bladder was calling. You know,
Yeah.
it was time to go.
When you got to go, you got to
Gotta
go.
go. But John, thanks for stopping by again, and got to see another Allen victory, so that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, our tailgate just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and we appreciate everybody stopping by. And
Yeah.
people that come up and introduce themselves, great.
Yeah.
I
And we
got-
had the senior football moms came by and said, "Hey, they're going to do the walkout here in about 10 minutes."
Yeah, I
so
want to
we,
make a note of that. I want to give a shout out too to the freshman head coach, Victor Gonzalez, who stopped
Yes.
by as I was setting up yesterday, introduced himself, and he's like, "I love your podcast." And I said, "Dude,
awesome.
when you want to be on?" He goes, "Just let me know." So, Victor, we're going to be calling you. Get out here and sit in with us, and you can give us all. You can set us straight on everything we get wrong.
Yeah, we can. We
And you
can.
think it's tough
Well, we can-
for the varsity coach logistically.
Oh, geez.
What about, and those little ninth graders are a little more scattered. They don't know, as far as how things are working yet completely. And,
Yeah. Plus
and
there's
he's got
3
200 of them,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah, really 3 teams.
So
Well,
he
it-
has his work cut out for him.
We need to open it up to a group of freshman coaches because one of our freshman coaches is a former player from 2006, James Taylor, who was
And Chad
85.
Adams.
He's a musician.
And
Is
Jalen
Chad a
Ellis.
freshman coach?
Yes, and
yes, he
Jay-
is.
and
Oh my
Jalen
gosh,
Ellis.
Jalen Ellis. Okay,
He's a
So,
safety.
that's an
We just
episode.
tell Victor to get his boys together and come on over.
That's an
and
episode. Yeah.
talk about it. But yeah, that dude, he's got more energy. Holy moly. He's
That's good.
all over the place.
That's
He's-
good. Did he tell you
He's
what
doing a
what
cleaner leap with
what he
people.
teaches or what he coaches?
He's a head coach.
Positions? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the
Awesome.
head coach.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
he's a delegator.
That's good.
As we
He's a leader and a
so
delegator.
well taught a young president of a club on campus yesterday. Which was a pretty funny story. You weren't there yet, but we were sitting there at tailgate, and there were
Uh-huh.
4 of us there, and we looked down, and this young, sweet girl, she pulls out a box out of her car, and it's one of those pop-up screened in porch type things. Well, it's brand new. I mean, she just bought it at Walmart. And
Fresh.
I look down there, and she's got all the parts everywhere, and she's got the instructions in front of her.
Reading instructions. Yeah.
And she's by herself, and for those of
Aw.
you that were out there yesterday early, the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
And
That would be an impossible tent to put it by yourself.
I looked at the guys, I said, "Come on, we
We
got to
gotta
go
go."
down here, do our community service for the week." And we helped her set that thing up. 'Cause
Good
it
for
was,
you, fellas.
She was not going to get it done by herself. And she said, "Well, I'm the president, and I apologize for not knowing the club name because I should know it because she told us." And
Something buddies.
Nolan and I at the same time goes, "Well, you're not a very good president because the president delegates. You should have people out here doing this for you.
Supervising them.
At least not doing it by yourself." But we got it up for her, and they had a big setup down there yesterday, so that was pretty cool. So your Allen Eagles played McKinney Boyd last night, first district game, which Coach told us last week. This is when it really matters.
Yeah.
And so the season really started last night. And it was going to be interesting to see how after coming off a big win from Arlington Martin, which was a really big win,
Signature win. Absolutely.
tough win. Like I say, they grinded last week. How they would respond against their first district game against an 0-3 team that only had scored 31 points all year. And you go, all right, what are we going to get?
Are we going to see a letdown?
Yeah. And I tell you what we'll do is we will call Coach right now, and we'll see what his thoughts are on it. Let's see how many ringy dingies it takes for him to answer it. I got worried last week. Let's see what he's got going on this morning. What were we going to ask him?
That was
The
your
kickoff.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Coach.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing awesome.
That's good to hear.
After a nice victory. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so you open district play and it's always scary when you play a team that hadn't won a game yet because you know they're hungry.
Yep, no doubt.
And so how do you think things went last night?
Well, you know, they said they hadn't won a game, but we hadn't won a game either. We were both 0-0 in my mind.
There you go.
But yes, they were. You know, they probably had a little extra motivation. Yeah, I think we got out of there with a win. I think our kids played incredibly hard. I think you know, it's tough to win any football game. It's tough to win 6A football in this district. So with that being said, I think it was a good night. Now, in terms of the play, you know, I thought that we didn't play near as well as we have at some times this year. You know, just you know, I thought defensively their offense against our defense, I thought they did some things that you know, we just didn't react to very well at times. I thought there were times throughout the game that they kind of you know, I'd say had our number. You know, they had us to where they were able to run it or throw it in their little RPO game and had us on our heels. And then special teams, I thought we didn't perform at a high level there either, really, in any of the phases of the special teams. And then offensively, you know, we left a lot of opportunities out there as well. So you know, if you talk, you know, are you incredibly pleased with the performance? The answer would be no to that, which that's going to be the answer every week. But if you're you know, if you keep what's important, then incredibly pleased, right? You know, it's again, I mean, you see the gap between us and McKinney Boyd was nowhere near the gap between A&M and Appalachian State.
Wow.
Good point.
Love it.
Love that analogy.
Hook 'em.
Yeah, but you know, I am in my older years trying to appreciate wins because they are hard to get. And you know, it's what I told the kids after the game. I said, you know, here's the deal, guys, is those kids from McKinney Boyd show up every day to practice. Their coaches are going to spend the same amount of time we are, and they're doing everything they can to beat you. You know, and they're not just showing up saying, oh, this is Allen, let's let them win. I mean, they're trying to win. They're trying to do things to be effective in everything they're doing, just as we are, you know. So, you know, I thought they did a good job. And our kids, again, you know, our kids made the plays they needed to make to keep us ahead in the game and to keep us doing things. You know, defense still created turnovers, which ultimately I think was the difference in the game. But I'm happy with the win, long story short.
Yeah, Coach, fourth quarter, 7-minute mark, defense seemed to really just unload on their offense and just let them no space whatsoever.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It was right about there is when I thought that it's really when I thought we started playing defensively. You know, again, outside of the turnovers, I don't think we played as well as we've been playing. But right there, it looked like who we had been.
Yes.
You know, and why, I don't know. You know, we had a good week of practice. The kids, you know, their mind was right. But you know, you know, it's hard. You know, you think about, you know, you hate to say that a non-district game was an emotional win because it certainly there wasn't anything from my perspective put on an Arlington Martin game that made it meaningful. But I think, you know, that the kids thought that was a big win against a big opponent. And, again, I hate to harp on the fact that you're a young team, but we talk about so many things they haven't done well. If that was a big win in their mind, which to me it wasn't, but if that was a big win in their mind, sometimes it is hard to follow that up, So, again, there's just a lot of things that will be great learning experiences for the guys. But again, excited about the outcome. I don't want to sound disappointed in that at all. But there's certainly, I thought the last half of that fourth quarter, I thought defense looked like it had been playing.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Coach, I think you're feeling a lot of what we feel is we're happy with a win. You just see, as you said every week that we've talked to you, there's just work to do.
Coaching point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's so
Always,
much work to do. We're just, again, it's just, we haven't played very near great football, and on my measuring stick of what I say is a good football game, we haven't played that. Those first three games, I thought we played incredibly hard. I would not trade our effort in any of those games. At times last night, I didn't feel the same. Didn't feel like kids were taking plays off, but I just didn't feel like the effort was through the roof, that we were playing with fanatical effort at times. But there hasn't been a game that I've walked away saying, boy, that was good, clean football by us. It looks like just good football, So, yes, there's a lot of things that again, I don't say more things that have to be cleaned up out of this game than it was in the Martin game, though. I think the difference between this game and the Martin game was that defensively, I thought we played like we did those last 7 minutes. I thought we did that the whole game against Martin.
We had formulated our list of things we were going to send you to clean up. It sounds like you got it taken care of.
Yeah, you could send it, and your list would be a lot shorter than mine.
Well, we all know that momentum plays a big part in football, and they had a couple of big plays that kind of put it in their pocket for a little while. But I think when the kids did a good job of realizing, hey, this isn't, just going to be some walk in the park, and they righted the ship to get the things back, take that away from them. So
they did, and again, the thing that I like about these guys so much is they don't hang their heads. They don't go out there and get overconfident. They're still playing every play hard. You don't look at their big plays and say, oh, we took the play off. We just, there's things here or there that you're like, golly, that's so easy to prevent. And then you follow that up with a 3-and-out offensively, and just, there's things there that you're like, golly. I mean, it's just, we're just, the good is you can say that we're close. The real good is that you can say there is a ton of meat left on the bone, so, and the good thing is that we're 1-0 in district. So
that's it. That's the important thing. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to take away from any win because if we start getting critical and the team won, it's like people start coming back and saying, well, how can you be dissatisfied with a victory? And it's that side where you always want to see improvement. How do you feel about practices? Because you get a sense as you practice, that you practice like you play or you play like you practice. What do you think about that?
No question. I agree. This was our best week of practice. Not close. Not close.
Good.
It's I don't know. We're just close to, to cleaning things up. We're just, there's just a lot of sloppiness that still is going on. But again, I think because of the way they work and again, phenomenal practices that you're able to overcome a lot of sloppiness, right? I mean, a lot. You look out there, and if you look at the mistakes that we're making, that we made, especially this game on both sides of the ball and in special teams, the score should be a lot closer than that. A lot closer than that, if not about that same score the other way around. But I just think the way the kids are playing, I mean, they're just, they're able to hide some nastiness with the effort they're given.
Yeah, good insights.
Have you noticed, and I was just curious about this, you've coached at all levels now, and you're here at 6A now. Have you noticed the level of, I'll just say, competition or the athletes that you're facing every week being that much different?
No, that's no. I mean, I had coached at 6A level. We're down with Cedar Hill, Duncanville, those guys in the district, and then also coached at the smallest of levels. And obviously, you look at a field, you play at Duncanville, you play at Bosco, and all of a sudden there's 44 kids that have FBS scholarships, and you coach in 1A, and there's not 44 in the history of 1A that have come out.
Yeah.
FBS guys. So the talent's different, but it's all relative. It's I think that across the board, for the most part, what they have, you have. At most every level. And it's just about, and that's why, for me, we just have to get cleaner. It's not, to me, again, I don't care if you're talking about the team that has 44, 48, whatever it is, FBS kids. It's never about them. It's about you. It's about getting better at what you're doing, and that's what we just have to continue to improve so much. Is just playing cleaner, especially on the offensive side. We're just there's just some things that we shoot ourselves in the foot way too many times.
All right, we had a question we discussed, or we wanted to ask you about the coin toss, and what's your philosophy on the coin toss? Are you always going to take the ball, or are you going to defer?
Well, we're 0 for 4.
Yeah, we know. What's up with that?
So
Maybe that doesn't disappoint you.
Yeah, no, we haven't got to see what we do when we win a coin toss. But
We're saving that for playoffs?
What last night was the first time, like, what our district allows you to do is the home team has the option of you doing a kid coin toss live or a coach coin toss. And I've always been one to do the coach coin toss, and then the kids go out and do a mock coin toss. That's what I've always liked to do, just for a couple of reasons. Just for going way back once in my career, the kids go out there and we win the coin toss, or lost the coin toss, the other team deferred, and we said, we'll kick.
Yeah.
And the officials, like, you said, no, you don't want to kick. And the guy said, no, we want to kick. So we kick both halves, so that's just haunted me, and I haven't ever liked that. But
Good on you, Coach.
Their coach, said, Coach, I'd really like if kids could do a live one. And I said, you know what, we'll do it. But it's all, I mean, that part of it doesn't matter. It's just where the coin lies. But
Right.
Yeah.
But no, a lot of factors are going to come into play when you decide what we're going to do. We would have last night deferred and taken the decision in the second half, but they won and deferred, so we weren't going to kick both halves.
Yeah. We like your logic there, Coach.
Yeah.
We might have.
Some things are really, really simple.
Yeah, that might have been a discussion point on this podcast had you done that.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Softball question.
Softball question of the week.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Coach, you're in a ship. You get wrecked on a desert island. What genre of music would you choose?
Wow. It'd be different in different parts, different times of my life, but right now it'd be country music.
Oh boy.
Okay.
We knew it.
All right.
We kinda-
Follow-up question. Faith Hill or Shania Twain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can defer now, Coach.
Take the fifth.
Well, I like it when we stump you like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week, Denton Braswell at their place.
Yeah.
First district road game.
Yes.
I imagine you'll have packed stands, at least on our side, because that seems to be a smaller venue than we
really?
used to. Yeah, I think it only
A little bit
seats
smaller.
2,000.
2,500 or 2,000 on the visitor side. So,
Wow.
We'll be packed in there with the band.
yep,
But,
Yeah.
we'll make
Love
it work. They took it on the chin by a point last night.
Yeah, they did.
And they got beat by 59 the week before.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So
Again, much like last week at this time, I'm still watching last night's game. But what, without having looked at them, I'm a little shocked. I'm not shocked at last night. I don't know how it played out, but I hear that the Rock Hill has a couple of really, really, really high-level players on the offensive side of the ball, their quarterback being one. I haven't seen him, but that's just what I'm hearing. But I also haven't seen, but what I hear is that Braswell had really, really, really good young talent last year with all of them coming back. So I'm anxious to see, how they're doing, what's going on with them. But I hear they had at least our coaches felt they were really talented last year and had them all coming back. So.
Yep. Yeah, especially on the offense side of the ball, they were very explosive. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our viewpoint, whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Coach, have a good week of practice. Get everybody healthy.
Yeah.
The injury bug keeps biting you, but do your best to keep those
Work
guys,
through it.
Keep
Yep.
those guys upright and plug new guys in. And
That's
we
right.
will wish you the best of luck Friday night. We'll see you then, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
Thank y'all very much, and have a great weekend and wonderful week.
All right. Thank you,
You
Coach.
too.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Coach.
Okay. Thank y'all. Bye.
There he is, Coach Wig.
That's such a great conversation.
Isn't it, though?
It is. It's awesome.
That dude.
Open it up a
Continue.
little bit.
Continues to come
15
by.
minutes
Coach.
of his, that's valuable time.
Yeah.
It is.
And he graciously gives it to us.
All right, Coach.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Coach.
Yeah.
No, I was just looking at the time.
Oh.
It's close to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I
Thanks,
told him
Coach.
when I asked him about it, I said, Coach, we won't keep you more than 15. I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of what our limit. So we try to get. I mean, and he expands enough on our questions that we don't have a lot of follow up.
Exactly.
So that's
That's what
You
I
know.
like. You don't always get the total coach speak
Yep.
package, which is great.
well, and
Now, he did punt on the Shania Twain Faith Hill question, didn't he?
I wonder if his wife.
We kind of
listened.
let him go on that one.
Smart move on his part.
He won the coin toss in the
That was awesome. So yeah, that's
great.
He didn't know what to say. We're just talking about music. That's it.
Well, hey, we guessed country.
Yeah.
So,
That's pretty funny. So bless his heart. So we'll keep tacking on questions like that for him every week and see if we can stump the coach. But I like his forthcomeness about. I think he knew it was sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, yeah, no doubt. But
Well, it goes back to the old adage: you don't overlook something in a victory that you wouldn't in a loss.
right.
Yeah.
So, we all saw the things that are definitely should be worked on this week. But if you look at, like he's saying, the effort that the kids give has been there, and you've seen a lot of things have been cleaned up logistically. No more timeouts for getting the punt team on, those types of things that for a new program under his regime, that's a lot of stuff to get packaged together, and
Yeah.
and so we see those things cleaned up. So just got to give it a little time, and hopefully as we roll in the district, we'll see that improvement on less sloppiness, because there's always going to be something that, like he says,
Yeah.
that he's going to be able to
Well, and
get after.
they're always going to be the other team's going to make plays.
Yeah.
That's just going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, any level of football that happens. Whether you're starting at ASA or when you're looking at the pros, those people know how to play too, and they're going to break it. Their coaches are working just as hard as anybody
Yeah.
else's coaches to
Yeah.
try to find your weakness, and the player's going to, be out of position to miss a tackle, and it's going to lead to an explosive play or something. It happens. I mean, but
What's
You know?
encouraging to me that their practices, as he says, they had the best practice that they've had this week, and at least there's that. They know what it looks like to do it right. They just need to translate that into the game. And
Well, here's
I'd rather-
something too that we saw last night. There were some in-game things that we did, just like last week against Martin. They started that little Wildcat thing. What'd we do? Made an in-game adjustment, added an extra defensive lineman. That all come in preparation and film study and knowing what we want to do if they do this. Last night seemed like Boyd was trying to hit these little slants and stuff, so it looked like maybe we kind of put a guy in that area to kind of stop some of that, and got 3 picks out of it, and, you know, that was a game changer.
It was.
And that's what it takes. You got to be able to adjust on the fly.
Right.
Because you never know what you're going to
And
do.
you can't adjust on the fly unless you've had good practice with it. And they
Yeah.
did.
And we
Good job.
started that off. I don't know if you're going to do. You're obviously going to do your play-by-play, but that first pickoff by Emory Lassiter was a momentum
We
changer.
will get to that
I
here in a
enjoyed
minute, 'cause
seeing
that was
it.
fun. Let's look
Yeah.
at some stats from last night for
Absolutely.
those that are interested in numbers.
We love numbers.
Because I'm a numbers guy and I like looking at that. 553 total yards of offense for the Eagles last night. Big number. Now, was there some sloppiness on the offensive side? And I'm going to say it, and I didn't want to bring it up to Coach because I know they're working on it, and every one of us know they're working on it. But they have got to get that situation with the snap figured out.
We can't be dribbling it on the ground for Hawkins.
Or
and-
over his head, or he's got to
Yeah.
bend over every time because it just throws the timing totally off on every play,
Right.
and it starts right there.
Yep.
And he talked about little things. That's a little thing, but it's an important little thing. And it's messed up so many plays. You know, we're 4 games in, and it's happened every game. And that needs to be, I mean, I know they're working on it. If they're not, shame on you, but we know they, without even saying it, you know they've got to be.
Yeah.
And they hung with that center last night the whole game. They didn't replace him, and so I know they're over there talking to him saying, dude, you got to help. You know, you're see what's happening behind you? It's a result of that not being done correctly.
Exactly.
But that's one thing that you look at and you say immediately, let's figure that out. Now, despite all that, with the offense not, you know, with the plays not working efficiently as they should be because of a bad snap, they had 553 yards of offense.
Well, just what was Kavion's number of carries and yardage?
16 carries, 210 yards.
That's production right there.
I bet we don't have this in front of us, but how much of that was in the second half?
Well, his long touchdown run, I think that was in the second half. But yeah, that kid. I mean, we talked about him every week so far, and I think for those of us who were here last year, and you saw Jenkins and you saw Devin Turner, and Kavion was, you know, running with threes last year as a sophomore behind the other two. I didn't expect what I'm seeing out of him this year. He seemed to last year, and maybe he's bulked up some, but man, he runs.
Kavion Sibley on
His yards after first contact are
That's
Marcus Ward.
That's the most impressive thing is that first guy generally, if he's got his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, that first guy usually has a
Takes
very hard time of stopping him.
Yeah.
Now, he took that one hit and coughed up the ball, I think. And
And that was on a pass play. He turned around.
That screen, as soon as he
Yeah.
turned upfield, he got popped, and
Yeah.
so
that's hard to.
yeah.
His touchdown run was actually in the second quarter, the 65-yarder. But yeah, he ran so hard. It's just like, dude.
They think they've got him down. Nope, you don't have him down.
Yeah, those runs are great. You know, he breaks it, not. But to me, the impressive and the yards that's going to be tougher to get as the competition gets a little better. I don't think the result will be any different, though.
No.
Because he's going to be doing those same things. He proved it last week against Martin. Those were tough yards. You know, it's not the number of yards, but because he's going to have some where he breaks them. It's the 6 and 7 yard runs that can be just as impressive.
Yeah.
You know, when he breaks contact or makes one little cut and, you know, just gets those extra 4 or 5 yards.
Yep. Stiff arms people, whatever.
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
that's stiff arm.
He
He must have super long arms too for somebody his height because they don't get a finger on him.
Yeah.
No.
He's had that number 8's number last night. That number 8 was getting a little testy with being stiff-armed and run over left and
Yeah,
right.
he
So-
was kind of testy because Mr. Gorski was giving him a face too.
Shout out to Gorski. We talked to him before the
Oh, my
game. and
gosh.
He goes, I'm playing tonight. And I said, well, don't get any penalties, and that's the thing I told him. Because Gorski's one of those guys,
Over-aggressive.
kind of like Fisher.
Yeah.
Little old, he's aggressive, and he'll drive you to the ground. In fact, I think we got some highlights on. There were several times last night where pancakes came into play.
My gosh.
Break out the syrup.
Little body surfing and pancakeage.
I remember those years.
But Allen rushed for 382 yards last night on 38 carries, and I know all of you are smart enough to do the
That's
math.
a 10-yard clip.
There you go.
Clip, clip.
10 yards a pop will get you a long way in this league. Only 6 penalties. The one turnover we talked about, Sibley had a fumble on that pass play. He just got blown up when he turned around. Defense created 3 turnovers. You mentioned Emery Lassiter.
Yep.
Was put into the starting lineup this week, and his dad was sitting next to me last night when he made that interception.
He was over
Proud
the
as
moon.
a peacock, man.
Over the moon.
Your son gets in the starting lineup, and you get a pick, on the second drive of the game, or actually the first drive of the game. But Allen gets out to a big start. It's 21-0, and you're like, well, here we go. What's this gonna? Is it gonna be a blowout?
Yeah.
But then, again, you talked about momentum.
Yeah.
Sibley scores a touchdown. Intercepts on the next play.
Finally, Clark's pass intercepted by number 27, Emery Lassiter.
Again, Sibley had 4 touchdowns on the night. So not only is he productive running the ball, he's getting it into the end zone.
Yeah. We went a little wildcat on him a couple of times.
Yeah, we did, to the left, behind who? Mitchell?
It was
and
working.
Gorski.
It was working.
Yeah. And actually, Sibley scored the first 3 touchdowns. So, I take that back. Crowder scored the second touchdown. Sibley scored the 2-point conversion.
Michael Crowder, touchdown Eagles.
Highlights in there. I think I got all the touchdowns.
To go up 21-0. And then, we talk about the defense, and Coach even mentioned it. He felt like the defense didn't show up the way he thought they were going to be until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They gave up 328 yards total. Respectable. You go back to explosive plays, which we've talked about almost every week as well. You can get rid of those because McKinney Boyd had 2, and when Allen's up 21-0, quarterback scrambles for 69 yards. And I apologize because someone made that effort play to tackle him at the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
And I don't know who that
I
was.
think it was Taylor Collins again.
Was it Taylor?
I'm not 100%.
It was either him or I think
somebody
it might
pulled. Yeah,
might have been
no,
Dillard.
Yeah, it was a.
Speaking of which, Jeremiah Dillard, welcome back to the game. He's been hurt.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think it may have not been Collins this time.
One of the 2.
Yeah, but somebody ran him down on the 1 or 2.
Yeah, and they did score on that, made it 21-7.
But just like the week before, we got a fumble. This time, the next play, we blew it up,
Yep.
and then McKinney Boyd cheated. They threw a pass in the end. They couldn't force it in, so they tricked us and threw a pass to get it in.
Tricksters.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
So it's 21-14 or 21-7, and then Allen has to punt, like the coach said, 3 and out, and on a quarterback roll to the left because he got flushed out. You thought he was going to run. I thought he was going to run,
Yeah.
and so the corner left his man.
Wide open.
And the quarterback threw the ball, and so he again another effort play by somebody to catch up with the guy, and he
Right.
didn't score a touchdown on that. But that's so you've got a 69-yard quarterback run on the series, followed by a 77-yard pass. And so if you take those numbers out when you talk about explosive plays,
Yeah.
they gave up 182 yards total offense. Very,
It's very
Stout.
positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can live and you'll win a lot of games.
They had 2 plays last night.
Yep.
They had short slants,
Yep.
and the quarterback gets flushed out of the pocket and runs.
Yep.
Those were the 2 things that were working for him.
Yeah. And they were running enough deep routes that when the quarterback scrambled, he had some room to go.
Yes,
He
yeah,
was their
right.
leading rusher last night. Shackelford was.
Deceptively fast. I
Shackleton.
mean, some of our defensive linemen
they-
were chasing.
And Boyd was doing something kind of. They started a different kid at quarterback,
Yep.
and
Shackleton.
was played. I don't know if he started the game, but there were some times when he was at receiver and Nine was at quarterback, and then Shackleton moved to quarterback, and the other kid was receiver. So they're trying to get all their athletes on the field, and you looked across there, they didn't have too many kids suited up, and I think that helped us in that second half of the second half.
Yeah.
Type thing going on.
And so it's 21-14. Allen gets the ball back, and they try to run a screen pass at their own 20-yard line. Sibley catches it, turns around, and gets absolutely
Popped.
blown up. Fumbles. McKinney Boyd has the ball in Allen territory. Well, as fate would have it, they get down close to the goal line. They're at the 8, and the first down, and he goes back to pass, and by golly, guess what? Caden Dunlap steps up,
Yeah.
makes an interception.
Yeah, it was a tip ball, and then he
Love it.
reacted to it and
Yep.
and caught it. It was around the inside the 5 or at the 5.
3-yard line.
3-yard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then we in
Ryan Shackleton's pass. Intercepted by number 13, Caden Dunlap. Ball tipped by number 10, Aiden Grant.
gave him a big old dose of Cavion.
Yeah. They get out to the 35-yard line, and this is where I love our seats.
Yeah.
Because, again, we sit on the front row 20-yard line, and you can just, and y'all know, y'all sit up
Above
top.
the band, yeah.
You can just see
Plays
the hole is
develop.
open,
Yeah,
and the
the
play
play
develop.
develop,
And
yeah.
that play, because we're looking kind of a little like at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And you could just see the hole open. You see him go through, and once he gets past one guy,
He's gone.
and it's
Yard touchdown run for Tavion Sibley.
They don't expect him to get by him, and then he's just
he is so fast.
His speed to the corner.
Yeah. But you could just see it. You could just like the party of the Red Sea. Moses there is holding the staff up and everything. We'll go biblical here for a minute.
Let my people go.
Yeah, you just see the party and he goes right through it and you're like gone. And it's so cool to see that. James will have the video for that.
Oh, yeah.
You can just see that part and you're like, oh, there's a gap and he's going right through it. So they go up 28-14. Next series, McKinney Boyd gets the ball. Drew King steps up, makes an interception. So you got back-to-back
Love seeing it.
series where you
They had a hard time getting him down. I don't
Drew
know if
King?
they ever got him down, if they just got him out of bounds.
Yeah.
But he was he was smelling 6.
Yeah. So he intercepts and returns it to the 34 of Boyd, and Allen kicks a field goal on that one. So they go up 31-14. Is that right before half? Yeah, 17 seconds remain. So that was a halftime score. Boyd comes out, gets a field goal, 31-17, and that goes on for a while. And then Sibley gets another touchdown.
Tavion Sibley.
For the night, a 10-yarder, makes it 38.
He's making a habit of that 4-score game, man.
Yeah, and then a special team snafu by the Eagles leads to a 100-yard kickoff return.
You know, that he kicked it in the end zone.
I didn't
and
think
he
he was coming
almost
out.
was like he hesitated, and then all of a sudden, but
He
you could
went
tell-
left at first.
and he designed like. Once they had an alley.
That
They
was a
had
parting
good-
of the Red Sea up
yeah,
the middle. Yeah.
They had a good blocking scheme set up, and man, our kicker didn't get him this time.
He did not. He did not get him.
Mosley came by the tailgate and said, "Well, we're going to get ourselves a run back tonight." He just didn't tell us it was going to be the
Other
team.
team, yeah. Way to go. That makes it 38-24. Boyd does not score again. Allen gets a couple extra touchdowns. One on a scramble by Hawkins and a heave to the goal line.
Yeah, that was a one-play drive.
Yeah. That it was funny because I just texted Sherry. I said 38-24, and it was like within a minute. I said, wait, update 45-24. I said one play later
Yeah.
because they tried. That's when they tried the onside kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, went out of bounds.
And it went out of bounds, and we got
Yeah,
the ball at their
yeah.
41.
You just knew that they were going to sometime in that time do an onside kick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the right timing, and they
May or
just
may
watched
not
a lot.
been it,
They
but-
watched a lot of film.
Yep. But Hawkins rolls to his right, ends up rolling back to his left, and just heaves the ball. And the new 5-star tight end, number 1 in the nation by Rivals 247 Sports, Yvonne Mitchell. How was that for an introduction?
That was
Goes up and
enjoyable
gets
to
it.
see.
Yeah,
And then,
because when I saw the ball go up, then I looked down, and it looked like they were posting up to get a rebound.
yep,
And then Devon realized, okay, this ball's going a little bit further, and he made the adjustment, went up, caught it, and then before he could get his momentum, there was a couple guys hit him, but he wasn't. That goal line was his.
when you're 6'5", I don't know how much his weight is, but when you're 6'5",
230.
and the stud, he walked by the tailgate yesterday, and we were all just like, ooh, specimen.
Big,
Like
big
that
kid.
dude. And he's a sophomore. Like that kid's going to grow into that body even more. But yeah, he dragged a couple people in the end zone with
He
him.
was getting it.
Oh gosh. Come on. Oh gosh.
Mike Hawkins to the Von Mitchell. 41 yards. Touchdown, Allen.
So it was good to see him get involved again last night. He's such a weapon. Final touchdown comes on a Micah Ellis 24-yard run. Final score 52-20.
Micah Ellis, 24-yard. Touchdown, Allen.
Not a perfect game by any means, but it's a district win. Like Coach said, he's 1-0.
Yep.
And I was going to say something when he was talking about, like when he said, he didn't want to say district games didn't, or non-district games didn't matter, but he's got it, and he knows this. You walk into Allen, the expectation is you win every game. District, non-district, it don't matter. That's the expectation.
Well, the emphasis that the coaching staff put on non-district games and district games might be different.
Yep.
But when those kids that are 17, or whatever, how old they are, look and say, okay, they got us ranked number 23 in the state, and they got Martin ranked number 9 in the state.
Yep.
That's all they're looking at. They're not looking at, okay, what are we doing at practice this week to get better type mentality. We want to go knock off somebody that's above us. Because we want to see in the Dallas Morning News or Max Preps or whatever, hey, we just moved up. And it's been that way since the dawn of football.
Yep.
Is
Well,
if you beat a ranked opponent higher than you, it matters.
Any opponent, because
Yeah.
especially at Allen, because the bar is so high. The bar is you win every game.
Yeah.
That's the bar. Now,
The
does it
unfair
happen?
bar too.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's fair. That's the expectation that all of us knuckleheads have put on everybody.
Well,
Right.
last year, 14 losses and 183 games.
Yeah,
That's the
That's the
expectation.
And these kids that have grown up in the system, and a lot of them have grown up in the system, I don't want to hear from all these people talk about transfers anymore. They know. You know, like when they step on that field, they know the expectation is you're going to win this game. It doesn't matter who the opponent is.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on and on.
And it doesn't matter the student section because they just cheer and cheer on every game.
Yep.
It was a veritable construction zone down
Yeah,
there.
it was.
All right, I felt like I was out on construction sites last night.
You know,
These
if
guys
anybody
work.
went to Lowe's or Home Depot looking for a construction vest, we pre-apologize. Our student section bought them all up.
Yeah.
I bet there were a lot of them that still had the tags on that are
They're
going
gonna
back
return
tomorrow. Going back today.
Yeah, go this afternoon. You can find a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, and
If
the
you need
manager over at Lowe's is like, what
They
is going
continue
on?
to be awesome.
Oh, the students?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up something that Coach said on his phone call. He brought up what Bosco had and when you played Duncanville, what they might have. It's not about them. It's about you and what you do to get better every week and the effort that those kids put into getting better every week. And we've seen it. We've seen it. Yes, they're beat this horse to death. There's some things that got to be cleaned up that are sloppy.
Yeah.
But the effort of getting better, like you said, this was the best week of practice that they've had,
I like hearing that. Yeah.
and that there's a lot of meat left on the bone, which is exciting for us because if we feel fairly confident we're going to see a lot better football.
Yeah.
Well, when you're winning without playing your best, that says a lot about your kids.
Yeah, it does.
And David brings up, the point in the game which the defense stepped it up, and that front four, whichever four guys are in there, have been dominant consistently all year long. And kudos to Mr. Brantley and Mr. Nettles. It's been a while since we've controlled that inside like we have with those two guys, which
right.
allows
So many other things to
playmakers,
happen. Yeah.
and they made their own plays too. But when you can stop that and force the other team to do it, it makes it easier for the players, the coaches, to design whatever it is they need to do to stop those other plays. So
All four of them on one play got
There was
that running back just as the ball was handed off to him in the backfield.
yeah, there was a group.
I mean,
meeting.
it was just like,
It was a group
Yeah,
committee
Meeting
meeting.
at the running back.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, and Brantley had a series where he made every tackle. He had a quarterback sack and 2 tackles on one series,
Yeah.
3 and out for them. That was in the fourth quarter. I mean, he was fired up.
Yes, he was.
Oh, my Lord.
He removed some turf.
And-
I like it because he likes to bang the. He's going to register on the Richter scale.
I love that kid.
Well, and so you're talking about effort and play and stuff. They're not giving up on the plays. We had one big, long play. I don't remember which number, but we'll have it in the highlights, and he makes a tackle on the 1 or 2 yard line, and then the defense steps up. I don't know if they shut him out or if they held him
They
to 3
actually
points.
scored. They scored.
Did they score a touchdown?
That was their first touchdown. They threw. We knocked them. But the thing was,
thought there
you
was
just
another one.
created
I'll
the
look.
potential
Yeah.
for what happened last week or a week before, and you create this. You did the same thing. You knocked them back to the 5. Who knows? Next play they might get a holding penalty.
Yeah.
You don't ever know what's going to happen. It's not a given. You get to the
right.
1 yard line. It's not a given.
Never give up.
It seems like it is, but it's not a given because of the effort that Coach keeps talking about. And that's one thing we can be proud of
See
to
the
say
payoff.
that that's one of the things we love to see more than it is the effort. If you're going to make a mistake, you made it 100 miles an hour, that's fine. In my book, that's fine.
They did get a penalty on that one of those plays down the goal line.
Pushed him back.
Pushed them back 5 yards, and that's when the interception happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was later on.
right.
That's right.
I
That's
think
right.
that may have been the one I was talking about. And, it's a wonder in my life. I worked on saying yes, dear, all week long, and it paid off on the weekend. So.
Well, around the district last night, the big game of the night. Again, everybody thinks their game. Of the
One people anticipate.
Yeah, the Denton Geyer was hosting Prosper. I watched a good portion of this game on YouTube while our game was going on.
Yeah, propped up on the rail.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because I'm going to be honest. Neither team blew me away.
Yeah.
Now, Geyer wins 23-6. They got their running game going. Both teams have good defenses, I will say that. But offensively, neither team could really generate anything. And Prosper doesn't have the receiving core they had last year when they played us. They still got the same quarterback, but they didn't look nearly as efficient or crisp, and their offensive line was having struggles with the front four. Jackson Arnold had an off game for him. He's a 5-star OU pledge, but again, they turned to their running game and a pretty good defense and won 23-6. McKinney played Little Elm last night.
Smoked them.
49-16. So for all of
McKinney's
you
got
that
some
aren't
chops,
paying attention, start paying attention to that McKinney team a little bit because they're really good at skill positions, and they're starting to click a little bit up there. The other district game, Prosper Rock Hill beat as we mentioned earlier, beat Braswell 50-49. I haven't looked to see
That had to be a 4
box scores.
yeah, who did what on that game or last minute or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you look at district standings this week, after 1 week, you got Geyer, Allen, McKinney, and Rock Hill all at 1-0, and everybody else is 0-1. So there you go. And Braswell comes up for Allen next. That defense gives up a lot of points. I mean, they gave up 79 to Byron Nelson 2 weeks ago. They gave up 50 to Rock Hill this week.
What a great opportunity to play a clean game.
Well, exactly. We need to score on every play. I mean, every time we have the ball.
Yeah.
Every time we have the ball.
There's Dave's expectation.
Well, you just take the lead and keep it. Just don't give it up.
That's right.
So that's district as it stands right now. Braswell's 2-2, Little Elm's 1-3, Boyd's 0-4, and then it looks like you're going to have 5 teams. And again, I don't know much about Rock Hill other than they're newer school, but
They got a cool run through.
they're 2-2 on the season. Prosper's 3-1, Kenny's 3-1, Allen's 3-1, and then your Geyer's undefeated at 4-0. So
Supposedly Rock Hill has a pretty good quarterback.
that's what Coach said. So we'll have to look into that. So that'll be, and I don't have next week's schedule. I don't know who plays who, but I can tell you real quick. So if you just banter for a second.
I'll jump in.
Yeah.
We've seen 5 state championships now. We go to the playoffs every year. We watch playoff games that aren't our playoff games. We know what it takes to win in those games.
Yeah.
You think about it mathematically. When you get to the playoffs, you're looking at maybe the top 20% of football teams in the state in the first round. It's not the teams you're playing week in, week out, and every week half of those teams go home.
Yep.
So by the time you're 2 or 3 rounds deep, you're playing the top 5% of teams in the state, and we're talking about sloppiness. We're winning, but at the end of the day, when you get to those games, we know what that sloppiness costs you.
That's right.
We see it all the time. A lot of times it's our opponents being sloppy. We take advantage of that, but our own sloppiness has cost us playoff games.
Woodlands.
Yeah.
Definitely, and you go all the way back to the Kyler Murray era. That's how superhuman he was. Is he could
was an eraser.
overcome
Yeah.
our own sloppiness. That's rare. And that's why it's so important to start cleaning that stuff up.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get to the playoffs and have this expectation that, okay, we can roll in and we're just going to roll whoever. It's not your district games. It's a whole new breed. And you got to clean that stuff up.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
The man thinks so well.
And that was in years past, when Plano schools had good, and we were in a good district with Marcus, and we had some battles that
Some
set us
epic
up
battles, yeah.
that prepared us
Yeah.
more for the playoffs. And then there's been a few years, Allen, we had a weak and it would show when we got in the playoffs that
Exactly.
you know that they hadn't been tested. So how do you react? But that could be the case this year. We're going to have, you know, if you just look at it from the way we're looking at it right now,
Yeah.
for sure we know McKinney's going to be a tough game. We know Gyre's going to be a tough game. We know Prosper's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
And so we could get some of that cleaned up and figure out how good we are with those tests, have a better idea how we're going to perform in the playoffs, if we make it.
Did Plano East play last night?
Oh, they were off.
Yeah.
So they're
But Trinity Trojans did play last night, and they lost 45 to 26
Yeah.
to Saginaw Boswell
I saw that.
Pioneers.
yeah, they did.
Did they really?
The Plano East
Yeah,
is what
it
now?
hurts.
3-0.
3-0.
Yes. Yeah, 3-0.
Way to go, Diggs.
Way to go,
Yeah.
Diggs. We know you're high on the hogs. so.
East.
Next week's scheduling district, McKinney plays Boyd. Prosper plays Rock Hill. So you got a lot of inner city squabbles going on. And then
Yep.
Geyer plays Little Elm. And we'll play Braswell. So that's your schedule for next week. One other topic I want to get into. Stadium etiquette.
Uh-oh. Everybody take your blood pressure medication.
I think we can leave now.
Yeah.
There's only going to be one person talking.
And no, everybody, because a lot of
I know,
people
I was
saw
just
the
kidding.
first part of this was. I know most people out there saw this. The two guys at halftime
Ran across the field while the band's out on the field.
decided it was a good idea, but they weren't real smart because it's funny. They came from the north end zone, ran between the sideline and the band because the band was still lined up in its formation before they did their show. He ran between it, and they decided they were going to exit stadium right where the band comes down, or right where the band sits.
Yeah.
Well, unbeknownst to these two knuckleheads, high school principal Matt Russell is standing right there as they come running down.
Stop!
And they just thought they were going to go, and it was like, mm-mm.
No.
And them two got a chewing
Blistering.
that I haven't seen in years. I mean, it was better than a coach yelling at a ref. And couldn't hear what he was telling them. He looked at their ID, or one of them had their ID, the other one didn't.
One of them didn't. Yeah,
Oh,
but there was some
Lord.
pucker factor going on there. Those poor kids.
So-
Make good decisions.
Yeah,
Don't run on the field.
yeah. Don't be stupid.
They're going to miss some school.
Oh, I thought they were going to jail last night, man. He held them down there, and then it looked like they got parents called because one mom had to come get one of those kids, and I don't know, they took the other one away. It was just crazy. It was just like, guys, don't run across the field. It's not
And if you're
hard.
going to do streak or have a sign or something, I mean, make it epic.
Make it worth your while.
If you're going to prison anyway, just go ahead and go all the way.
Yeah. I mean, back at the double wide, we had a kid shirtless he had pants on, thank goodness. He had a Plano suck side while Plano was over there and ran across the field into the student section. He got busted, but hey.
So
was epic.
Was that after or before the Coppell
Oh, the
dad
banana
ran
and
out
the
on the
monkey?
field?
Oh, the Coppell dad. Oh my God.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
But the most classic was the gorilla and banana.
Yeah.
They did it
Always.
right.
Yeah, they did. And they did it well. I have to give them credit. The other thing I want to talk about, and this only because this has affected us last night, and it seems to be happening more and more. The front row of the stadium is not a walkthrough.
Oh, front row of the upper deck.
Yeah.
Well, lower deck either.
Fair.
Yeah.
But we're talking about, it doesn't happen down there.
No, it doesn't. Upper deck, front row is not a walkthrough.
People will come up the stairs and, oh, I think I need to be over here.
If they're in the wrong section, turn your little butt around, or your big butt, I don't care, whatever it is, and walk back down the stairs and go to the section you want to be in.
Or walk up and go across. We don't care.
Find
Go
a row
behind
that's
us.
empty.
Yeah.
Because this happened, I don't know how many people, 10 people last night?
It
Before
too
I
much.
finally blew up, and I
Too
admit I
much.
blew up, and I was
Stop.
I was just like, I'm done. I'm trying to watch a game, and you got these knuckleheads that just think, oh, we're going to walk right through.
There's no way to curry favor doing that either. You know
No,
what I
and
mean?
they're kicking over our drinks and our snacks.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
And it's
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 common.
that too, but it's also people just coming up the stairs
That's a
and
hot
don't want to
take.
walk to the top and sit down in empty seats.
Well, that made me think of something else because
That happens to our row all the time.
Yeah.
you know, Miss White came up
Oh my gosh,
and
yeah.
she
The rail monitor.
the rail. You are not supposed to. Band parents, I'm sorry. And I know people might be picked on as band parents, but you're not to go to the rail and look over and try to find your kid because you're blocking people's view of watching the game. Don't do it. It's not allowed. And I know the security people, because the guy we had last night was like 14
Clueless.
years old,
Yeah.
and he wouldn't do anything. And she was so mad at him, but she came running and she was sweating because she was all over the stadium, and it was the same thing. She goes, She said, "I'm gonna push the next people I see hanging on the rail over it." You know,
Yeah,
It's just
she
like,
walked
oh,
by.
yeah,
she
she
walked
was
by
hot.
us and said that.
Yeah.
don't stand at the rail. You're blocking
Please.
people's view. You know, go down on the first floor and look down. I mean, I don't just
Yeah,
don't do it.
if you're going to leave after halftime, go on down there now.
Yeah, just whatever. Just and I know it's band parents because you can see them looking for their child and pointing. Here they are, taking videos. You're like, I understand you want to see your kid, but that is not the place to do it. Go down to section 101 where there's nobody sitting on the front row. Excuse me, not 101, 201,
There you go.
and take pictures of your kids. Do not get there and just interrupt everybody else's experience trying to watch a football game.
Let me just point this out. You're looking at the back of your kid's head.
Yeah.
You're not even getting good pictures of your kid. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that is true. I know you love your kids. Don't get me wrong.
And you're going to see them at home in 3 hours. It's okay. They can live without you for that long. I know it's tough, but
That's my baby.
Oh, man, I was on such a rant last night because it's just like it wouldn't stop.
And this morning.
Yeah.
well, the security guy forcing us to let people through was a low moment. So,
Yeah.
hey, security company, we know you're listening.
Are
Yeah.
you sure
Cut it
that was
out.
security company? It looked an awful lot like a student with a construction vest on.
Might have been. I don't know.
I'm going to dress up one of those next week and start ordering people around.
There you go. If you act like you know what you're doing,
Yep.
people tend not to bother you. All right, folks. Alan is 3-1. Got some work to do. Coach knows it. Working on it. We'll see what product is next Friday night at Braswell.
Or as he says, we're 1-0.
Oh yes, they're 1-0. Excuse me.
I do have to do one shout out before we're done. Ended up seeing former Allen player, SMU. He's not playing this year, but he's going to graduate and then transfer and play as a graduate student somewhere. Tay Brooks or Tadrian Brooks. It was really good to see you, young man. I probably won't even see this podcast, but we saw him, and it was good catching up.
He caught us as we
Good
were
kid.
walking out last night.
Good kid.
He's bulked up too. It's amazing what
has.
happens when linemen get to college.
Yeah.
That's like I can't wait till
They feed 'em well.
Xena goes to
Or
college.
middle linebackers.
Yeah.
Oh my
Christian
gosh.
Sam.
Yeah. It's amazing. But yeah, it was good seeing him last night. So, all right, away game next week, 7:00, Denton Braswell. Get there late.
Yeah.
so we can get our seats early.
Snooze, you lose.
We'll go put our chairs in place Thursday night.
Yeah. Someone asked me. Someone asked me yesterday, "Are y'all leaving
Ran-
after podcast
That was
today
Ran-
to go
Randy.
Go get seats.
go get seats?" Oh, Anthony Patton did.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Y'all gonna go get your seats then? And we're like, no. So, anyhow, hope you enjoyed the game. Thanks for listening. Be sure to leave feedback and comments. And until next time,
Yeah.
it's over and we're out.
Bye.
Woo.